Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello, my renegades, and I am back once again, as I say, like the renegade master, and I am talking about the ultimatum, marry or move on, season 2, and we are now on episode 2. Before I get into it, please, as I always say, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you know when I am back on and doing videos. And let's get into this episode, because there was a lot going on, and as I am going through it, I shall be breaking it all down too. So, as we know from when I spoke about the last episode, and if you've watched it, Lisa and Brian got into it. Got very much into it. There was physicality involved when they got into it. So, as I said on the last one, they ended up having an argument outside in the parking lot. Lisa was calling Rhea out of her name and calling her all sorts of things and making it all sexual between Brian and Rhea, and basically pointing out that the only thing that Brian could learn from Rhea or want from Rhea is basically sex, or for her to give him head and this, that and all that. And I thought that was kind of fucked up on her part. I understand that she's upset and she's feeling the emotions of seeing her man going gung-ho into the experiment, but at the end of the day, isn't this what you brought him here for? Like, honestly, well and truly, isn't this what you brought him here for? Because the whole thing to me screams it's an absolute mindfuck. Like, it's an absolute mindfuck, and this is why she cannot cope with what's going on. Her emotions are up here, like completely up here. So then we go back into the bar and we see everybody just shocked as to what the hell had just gone on. Like, talking about what had happened, and Roxanne saying that she tried to calm her down, but that was not happening in the slightest. She was already at that level to literally just go at Brian and whoever was sitting with Brian, which happened to be Rhea, because don't get it twisted. Lisa had already clocked that Rhea was interested in Brian and Brian was interested in Rhea, so she was gonna nip that shit in the bud, because she didn't want no competition at the end of the day. She really didn't want no competition at the end of the day. So Rhea starts crying and basically saying, like, I'm tired of being upset all the time. And I'm thinking, but where else was you upset, my love? Like, I didn't see where else she was upset. Yes, she was upset when you spoke to Trey and you were both speaking about kids, because at the end of the day, you kept on trying to push Trey into saying, well, would you still want me if I don't want children, because you actually want children. And I think with Rhea, she was trying to find issues in which to literally get Trey to basically say that he wouldn't want her at any certain point, but he refused to say that, basically. So Trey gave her a hug, and she was just talking to the VC and saying that everything just flows with Brian. That situation gave Trey more questions in regards to his relationship with Rhea, because I don't know if some of the women do this shit to see if their men is at least going to be upset or at least get a little bit jealous when their woman is giving their attention to somebody else. But as I said, Trey didn't move. Trey was fine with her going and chatting and getting to know whoever she wanted to get to know. And in essence, I don't think Rhea really liked that. She wanted some kind of action from Trey, because at the end of the day, you had this woman, Lisa, literally bad-mouthing the girl in the vicinity of Trey, and Trey didn't move. Trey didn't do nothing. Did not move from his seat one iota. He left Rhea to deal with that shit. Now, he's sitting there and he's seeing how irate Lisa is getting. He's then realised everybody's realised Lisa stormed over there. You know your girl is chatting to Brian, so why didn't you get your ass up off the seat and go and rescue her from that situation? That's the bits that is missing for me. Why did he not get up out of his seat and say, do you know what? We need to take you out of this situation and let them deal with whatever shit that they've got going on. Let them deal with it. He did neither. He literally just sat there. And then you got the girl in tears. Yes, he gives her a hug and reassures her, but now he's questioning his relationship with her. And then he goes off and talks to Ryan. And this is just the weirdness of it, the absolute weirdness of it for me. So then you see things kind of move on from the night, and basically you see James and Rhea having a chat, and they're talking about they've got shared pasts in terms of being from a single parent home, and you see James get really upset by that. But there's certain things for me going on behind the scenes when it comes to James. And there's certain things going on where he obviously has not sat down and talked to Ryan in regards to how he feels, especially around the situation where it comes from him coming from a single parent household and her background is completely different to his. So I don't know if in his mind he's thinking that she cannot relate to him in that sense. I kind of understand that. But at the end of the day, he's not even attempting to even let her in just a little bit. And I think James can come off a little bit selfish and a little bit staid when he's talking about Ryan, and especially when he's talking about the things that they actually do talk about, because he does not open himself up at all. But yet he was quick and easy to open himself up to Rhea, which tells you something about his character. At the end of the day, he was quick and easy to open himself up to Rhea. And this is what I mean. You've only just met these people. Like, you've only just met these people. They're not your long time friend or this, that and other. They're there to basically maybe get you to see things in a different way, in how you can either interact properly within the relationship that you're already in, or you're going to fish or cut bait and literally give it a go with the person that you're with. So then it moves on from there, and you basically see Rhea and Brian meet up. And all I was thinking to myself is that Brian is too much of a headache. Brian is way too much of a headache. And the reason why he's too much of a headache is because he's attached to Lisa at the end of the day. And Lisa is attached to him. Lisa is not doing well in this experiment. So for him to even have a hope of doing well in the experiment, he needs to have Lisa on board. And that is not going to happen. So again, they're sitting down, they're chatting, they're flirting as well. And then they're just like discussing stuff together. And he's talking about like he needs something different, or Rhea needs something different. And I'm like, Lisa needs to offer her an apology at the end of the day. Lisa does need to apologize for how she behaved towards Rhea. Because at the end of the day, Rhea ain't done nothing wrong. Rhea's done nothing wrong. Brian didn't do nothing wrong. It's just that you've got a person here who literally cannot cope with the concept of this experiment. She thought she'd be able to, but it was not going to happen for her. So basically, they were talking about how you can't have a relationship without trust, because I don't think that Brian trusts Lisa as much as he believes he does. So basically, I think that's what's holding him back in terms of popping the question to Lisa. But Lisa is literally hanging on in there because she's gonna wait this man out. She's gonna wait Brian out come hell or high water at the end of the day. So we're talking about the finances, and I'm like, Rhea wants a rich man. Like, she wants a rich man, like for real, because the way in which she was talking is that she wants a man to be able to cover the rent and or mortgage, whichever one it is, and she will do the small little bills. But bearing in mind, she's not fully financially free or financially settled in that way. She isn't where she wants to be in her life. But then she's expecting someone to be that point of call in her life and cover the necessities for her. Like, she's saying that she likes to spend other people's money. Like, Trey's got a good job, so Trey must be the one that is covering majority of the expenses in their relationship. So my first thought is, okay then, is it because it's Trey doing it that you don't want it? But if it was someone like Brian, then you would want it? Because at the end of the day, there's only going to be a certain select few of men who are going to be how you want them to be in regards to paying X, Y, and Z. But it always comes with a price. I find that type of lifestyle always comes with a price. And then it gets a little bit emotional for Rhea because it got onto the children part of the situation and the fact that Brian does want children. And I thought, uh-oh, here it goes. Ria's going to shut that relationship right down because she doesn't necessarily know if she wants children. And the reasoning behind that is because, as she said, she has suffered a pregnancy loss at the end of the day. So that's impacting on her decisions in regards to having a child. And then they go on to talk about their spouses, and Ria is saying that she's missing that emotional connection. And I'm kind of like, again, do these people not like talk to each other? Like, if you've been together for so long, you're living with him, you're both living together, do you not talk to each other in regards to how you're feeling and where you are? Or is it just this show that's bringing out a whole range of feelings and emotions that you're literally getting off your chest with people that don't know you or know your relationship? Because each time you say something to these people, they're going to gather a picture in their mind as to what your relationship is like. They're also going to gather a picture of the person that you're with, and then look at where the gap lies. If they want to jump into that gap and do that and be able to try and turn your head in terms of filling the gap that you're feeling. But at the end of the day, it could be all just for show. It could be all just for show, because you don't even know if at the end of the day, the person that you're with is going to pick you. And you don't even know if you decided to pick the person that you decided to couple off with for 3 weeks is going to pick you as well. I really just think this whole show is just diabolically, I can't even give you a word. It's just diabolically blur. Like, really blur. I really can't give you a word for it. I don't understand why people keep signing up for these types of shows and thinking it's going to help them or their relationship. I just don't understand it. So then it moves on to like still the dates, and you see Trey and Lisa talking to each other, and they're getting on really well, because Trey gets on really well with Lisa and gets on really well with Ryan. There isn't too much really to say about their conversations, except to say that Lisa did admit that she was rude towards Ria. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, you really were. And rude towards Brian, because you physically hit that man. Like, you hit him at the end of the day in front of everybody. So my thing would be is I'd be quite wary of you and getting into any type of relationship with you, especially if you decided to catch feelings. I'd be very, very wary in that situation and that scenario. But as Trey did, he turned it around and said that he loved that she was quite passionate. I said, there's passionate and then there's passionate at the end of the day. And the difference with Lisa's passionate is she will strike you across your clout when she's ready. That's her passionate. And I don't want that. I don't want that passionate. She can keep that passionate in a gold sparkle bag, because I don't want any of that passionate. So then you've got Trey and Ryan, who have a chat as well, and like, he really does like Ryan, because I think they're both similar and they don't live too far from each other. So then the night time comes, everybody meets up, they're all at the tables now, and this is the time for the choice, basically, on who they're going to pick. It's noted that Lisa and Brian are missing from the table, and Nick Lachey lets them know that they're not coming in, and they chose not to tell the others as to why they're no longer carrying on with the experiment, but allowed for Nick to say that Lisa took a pregnancy test that morning and basically found out she was pregnant. So that's why they're no longer going to be getting involved within the experiment itself. And this is where this episode ends, and I will be quickly back with the next one, because there is much to talk about in regards to the next one. But as I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, and I'll be back to you all very soon. Peace out.